We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with top US tech CEOs in New York, highlights huge business opportunities in the country. Prime Minister Modi in New York hails Indian diaspora success, says India-America spirit is new AI power of the world, ensures a Made in India chip will become a reality.
मैं मानता हूं कि AI का मतलब है अमेरिका, इंडिया, ये स्पिरिट है.
United Nations General Assembly adopts Pact for the Future, challenges leaders to hold collective responsibility to turn promises into real actions. Sri Lanka witnesses power shift. Anura Kumara Dissanayake is set to take oath today. Indian Prime Minister congratulates him for victory. Israel says prepared for next stage of fighting as Hezbollah declares open-ended battle. US President says doing everything possible to keep the wider war from breaking out in West Asia. And in Chess Olympiad, India wins gold in both men's and women's category. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says remarkable achievement marks a new chapter in India's sports trajectory. On to the details now. On day 2 of his US visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met a host of industry leaders ranging from semiconductors to electronics to biotechnology, where they discussed the potential and opportunities India has to offer. He also held bilaterals with Prime Minister of Nepal, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and the Prince of Kuwait. DD India's Amritpal Singh reports for more from New York.
On the second day of his 3-day visit to the United States, the Prime Minister engaged with CEOs of 15 top American companies. Among those who took part in the CEO roundtable were CEO Adobe Shantanu Narayan, CEO Google Sundar Pichai, and CEO IBM Arvind Krishna, among others. Taking to X, the Prime Minister said, "I had a fruitful roundtable with tech CEOs in New York discussing aspects relating to technology, innovation and more. Also highlighted the strides made by India in this field. I'm glad to see immense optimism towards India."
The Prime Minister has been focused on transforming India with his Digital India vision. He pushed us to continue making in India, designing in India. We are proud to now make our Pixel phones manufactured in India. He is really thinking about how AI can transform India in a way that benefits the people of India. He challenged us to think about applications in healthcare, education, agriculture, and he's also thinking about the infrastructure of India.
Prime Minister stated to me that he wants to make India energy independent. He wants to rapidly grow clean energy in the country. And meeting was for clean energy. Prime Minister is a very bright man. He picks up things. He's very bright. I mean, he understands the issues. He understands the challenges, and I think that he gets it.
Prime Minister also held bilateral meetings with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in New York. Prime Minister reiterated India's support for early restoration of peace and stability in the region. Prime Minister Modi also met with Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Crown Prince of Kuwait. They discussed cooperation in sectors like pharma, food processing, technology and energy. Prime Minister also met with Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and discussed ways to cooperate in areas of energy, technology and trade. On Saturday, Prime Minister Modi, in his meeting with US President Joe Biden, had welcomed new private sector cooperation on emerging technologies. Earlier in the day, addressing the diaspora at Long Island, the Prime Minister had said that Bharat doesn't wait for opportunities, it creates them. No wonder then, global tech companies are only interested in investing and engaging with India. With cameraman Sumit Nodial, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in New York.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi's day 2 of the US visit began with his address to the Indian diaspora at Nassau Coliseum in New York. Electrifying gathering of over 16,000 people gave PM Modi a warm and magnificent welcome. Prime Minister Modi highlighted India's resolve to become Viksit Bharat, a developed country by 2047, and the invaluable role the Indian diaspora plays in cementing bilateral ties with the US.
A leader and his ecstatic admirers, rise of India on the global stage, celebration of India and Indian diaspora. It was a historic day for the Indian diaspora members in Nassau County in New York as they accorded a memorable welcome to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Nassau Coliseum reverberated with thundering applause on several occasions as Prime Minister Modi recounted the remarkable rise of India and the Indian diaspora on the global stage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "India is now the land of opportunities. It doesn't wait for opportunities anymore. In fact, it creates them."
भारत आज लैंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, अवसरों की धरती है। अब भारत अवसरों का इंतजार नहीं करता, अब भारत अवसरों का निर्माण करता है।
Prime Minister spoke about his vision for India's future, calling his vision Pushp, which means flower, defining each letter of the word as a path to progress and prosperity of the nation.
आपको एक शब्द याद रहेगा, पुष्प। हाँ, कमल मान लीजिए, मुझे इतराज नहीं है। पुष्प, और मैं पुष्प को डिफाइन करता हूं, P फॉर प्रोग्रेसिव भारत, U फॉर अनस्टॉपेबल भारत, S फॉर स्पिरिचुअल भारत, H फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी फर्स्ट को समर्पित भारत, P फॉर प्रोस्परस भारत, यानी Pushpa.
The Indian Prime Minister also said that for the world, AI stands for artificial intelligence, but he believes AI also represents the America-India spirit.
मैं मानता हूं कि AI का मतलब है अमेरिकन, इंडियन, अमेरिका, इंडिया, ये स्पिरिट है, और वही तो नई दुनिया का AI पावर है।
Modi in Us program was attended by some 15,000 Indian American diaspora from across the United States. A mini India was created in the stadium as performers showcased the cultural diversity of India amidst jubilant audience members. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi listed the great achievements by India in the recent years, he also presented a picture of what kind of power does India aspire to be in the future, not the one that conquers, but the one that inspires. With camera person Sumit Nodial, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in New York.
Meanwhile, on the third and last day of his US visit, PM Modi will address the Summit of the Future at the United Nations, where leaders are expected to deliberate on course correction to make sustainable development for all a reality. DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh brings us more.
On day 3 of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States, focus would be on the Summit of the Future at the United Nations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will present India's vision on sustainable tomorrow. At the heart of the summit lies the idea that 21st century challenges require 21st century solutions. It is a recognition that the world has fallen behind in meeting its targets, from sustainable development goals to mitigating climate change. Global institutions have failed to evolve and reform. Regional conflicts threaten global peace. Earlier on Sunday, UN General Assembly adopted a pact for the future, which the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described as a landmark agreement that is a step change towards more effective, inclusive and network multilateralism. The pact covers themes including peace and security, global governance, sustainable development, climate change, digital cooperation, human rights, gender, youth and future generations. Given how failed development targets disproportionately impact poor and developing countries, all eyes will be on how Prime Minister Modi articulates the concerns of the Global South. Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in New York.
Well, with a lot of diplomatic action in New York this week, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar set to make country statement for India on behalf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the United Nations General Assembly during its general debate on the 28th of September. The general debate of the 79th UNGA session will take place from September 24th to the 30th. And still to come on DD India News Hour. In Germany, Scholz Party Social Democrats beats AfD in East German state vote. Multiple shooters fired into a group of people in a nightclub in Birmingham. And we'll show you the awesome costume parade at annual Oktoberfest festival in Munich. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Kuran. Moving on, United Nations adopts groundbreaking pact for the future to transform global governance. Global leaders gathered in New York on Sunday for a summit of the future aimed at addressing 21st century challenges ranging from conflict to climate, amid skepticism over whether the final pact will meet its lofty goals. Addressing the summit, where leaders called for collective responsibility amid global challenges.
For African countries, the summit must focus on global action in support of the continent's development agenda, Agenda 2063. Our failure will in the end be a betrayal for future generations. And I do believe that we dare not fail. Action is what is required now.
Temos duas grandes responsabilidades.
The global governance crisis required structural transformations. The pandemics, the conflicts in Europe and the Middle East, the arms race and the climate change strengthened the multilateral institutions' limitations, most of which lack the authority and means to implement and enforce agreements.
Podemos voltar.
We must address the increasingly dire situation surrounding nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. No matter how difficult the path to a world without nuclear weapons may be, we cannot stop our progress. Japan remains committed to promoting realistic and practical efforts.
Heute ist eine sehr wichtige Entscheidung gefallen.
You can't overestimate the result of today's deliberation and decision. The world has found a common language how to address the problems of the future. It's put together based on the times long past.
Oder wie wir gut zusammenleben.
Let me be clear. We are a peaceful nation. We do not seek war, nor do we desire it. However, we will not stand by as our people are attacked. We will use all means at hand, our determination, our innovation, and our strength to protect our people.
On the one hand, we can bury our heads in the sand, eschewing multilateralism in favor of short-sighted self-interest, or we can recognize that collectively we have a responsibility to set our differences aside, to confront the serious global challenges.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will also attend UNGA sessions in the US, ahead of which Zelensky said Ukraine was doing everything it could by acquiring weapons and through diplomacy to consolidate our partners' support and force Russia into peace. He urged his partners to help achieve a shared victory for a truly just peace.
We need peace on the terms provided by the peace formula, on the terms provided by the UN Charter. We will do everything to achieve that, get weapons to defend our independence and our people, deploy diplomacy to consolidate our partner support and force Russia into peace.
While U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has pushed for a new debate next month as the election nears, while former President Donald Trump has declined, citing the start of early voting in some states. Democratic presidential nominee Harris urged Trump to accept a proposal to debate on October 23rd as a follow-up to the previous debate on 10th of September. Speaking to supporters at a North Carolina rally, Trump said it was too late for another debate because early voting had already started in some states. Harris plans to roll out a new set of economic policies that aim to help Americans build wealth and set economic incentives for businesses to aid that goal.
So I'm going to be giving a speech this week that is really to outline my vision for the economy. As you've heard me talk about, I believe in what we can create in terms of opportunity for the American people. I've named it an opportunity economy, which really in short form is about what we can do more to invest in the aspirations, the ambitions, and the dreams of the American people while addressing the challenges that they face, whether it be the high price of groceries or the difficulty in being able to acquire home ownership, because for a number of reasons, including we don't have enough housing supply.
Well, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's party Social Democrats narrowly beat the far-right AfD in a state election on Sunday in the formerly communist East. Scholz's centre-left SPD won around 31% in the state of Brandenburg against the anti-immigration, pro-Russian Alternative for Germany, which scored about 29%. The vote in Brandenburg comes 3 weeks after the Russia-friendly AfD became the first far-right party to top a state election in Germany since World War II in Thuringia. It also performed strongly in neighbouring Saxony, coming hot on the heels of the Conservatives in the second place. And Anura Kumara Dissanayake is sworn in as the Executive President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka at a ceremony at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo. The 55-year-old beat off his nearest rival opposition leader Sajid Premadasa to emerge as the clear winner after a historic second round of counting, which included second preference votes. Outgoing President Ranil Wickremesinghe trailed in third. It was the first time in the Indian Ocean Islands history that the presidential race was decided by a second tally of votes after the top two candidates failed to win the mandatory 50% of votes to be declared a winner. Earlier, Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has officially tendered his resignation in the wake of victory of Anura Kumara Dissanayake in the presidential election. Gunawardena, who has served as the country's Prime Minister since 2022, submitted his resignation letter to the newly elected president as a customary move following a regime change. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings to the Sri Lankan President-designate Anurakumara Dissanayake and congratulated him following his win in the Sri Lankan presidential election on Sunday. Taking to social media platform X, PM Modi congratulated Dissanayake and said that the island country holds a special place in India's neighborhood first policy and vision sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region, which focuses on concerted cooperative measures for sustainable use of oceans and provides a framework for a safe, secure and stable maritime domain in the region. PM Modi said he looks forward to working closely with Sri Lankan President-elect to further strengthen multifaceted cooperation between the two nations for the benefit of people and the entire region. Also, High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, called on President-elect Anurakumara Dissanayake on Sunday. He conveyed greetings from India's leadership and congratulated him on winning the people's mandate. India's Sri Lanka civilizational twin is committed to further deepen ties for the prosperity of the people of our two countries. And Israel's army chief, Herzi Halevi, said on Sunday that it was well prepared for the next stages of fighting against the Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israel and Hezbollah exchanged a heavy fire into Sunday. Israeli warplanes carried out the most intense bombardment in almost a year of conflict across Lebanon's south. The Israeli military said it had struck nearly 300 targets on Saturday, including thousands of Hezbollah rocket launcher barrels. It said that it would continue to hit more such targets. Israel closed schools and restricted gatherings in many northern areas and ordered hospitals there to transfer their operations to facilities with extra protection from rocket and missile fire.
We have attacked over the past few days hundreds of terrorist targets in Lebanon. This morning, Hezbollah fired to the north once more. This fire was directed towards civilians. No sovereign state can tolerate such a threat against its citizens and its sovereignty. Hezbollah places its launchers next to Lebanese civilians, and by that it endangers them. We will do whatever it takes to remove threats against Israel. We will return the residents safely to their homes. Of Hezbollah still has not understood this after the past 2 weeks, then it will keep getting hit until it does.
Well, the Israeli army released a short video of the Home Front Command inspecting the damage from Hezbollah rockets hitting Kiryat Bialik on Sunday. The army said in their Telegram channel that there had been a barrage of rockets from Lebanon into northern Israel overnight and on Sunday morning. 2 elderly men and a teenage girl were wounded by shrapnel in Kiryat Bialik, Israeli medic service reported. Meanwhile, Hezbollah on Sunday said the group has entered a new phase in its battle with Israel, which he described as an open-ended battle of reckoning. Hezbollah Deputy Secretary General Naim Qassem said that the threats won't stop them and that they are ready to face all military scenarios. Meanwhile, as hostilities flare between Israel and Hezbollah, President Joe Biden has said that the United States will do everything possible to prevent an escalation of conflict in West Asia.
We're going to do everything we can to keep a wider war from breaking out, and we're still pushing hard.
Well, a shootout outside a nightclub in the U.S. state of Alabama on Saturday left 4 people dead and 18 injured. A video captured in the aftermath of the video showed a victim's body on the sidewalk and several eyewitnesses talking to each other. Multiple shooters fired into a group of people as they waited to enter the nightclub in Birmingham. A manhunt for the suspects is underway. Officials from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms were assisting with the investigation.
Approximately 21 people were shot. 4 of those are deceased. They were taken to various hospitals, and the ATF and FBI were on scene with us assisting in that investigation. We believe this was a targeted shooting. It was not something that occurred at that location, but there was an individual there who was targeted.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. In Mexico's northwestern state of Sinaloa, 3 people were killed, 1 arrested and 2 soldiers injured after an armed attack on the local police. Local police was attacked while they were on a routine patrol amid an internal war in the Sinaloa cartel that has left more than 50 dead this month. The latest violence comes after the surprise arrest of Sinaloa cartel co-founder Ismael El Mayo Zambada in the United States in late July. Hundreds of Tunisians protested against President Kais Saied, accusing him of deepening authoritarian rule and stifling political competition 2 weeks before a presidential election. Political tensions in the country have risen since an electoral commission named by Saied disqualified 3 prominent presidential candidates. The commission defied the administrative court and allowed only 2 candidates to run against Saied. 30-year-old alleged Namibian drug mule arrested at international airport in South Africa. Police service released a video that showed bullets of suspected cocaine retrieved from the body of a suspected drug mule. Authorities seized more than 63 bullets suspected to be cocaine. The police also released an X-ray image of cocaine bullets ingested in the stomach of the arrested individual. Hundreds of Bavarians in Munich clad in traditional attire to participate in the annual Oktoberfest costume parade. Locals show off the best Bavarian outfits during this festival. The fest is held annually on the second day of the world's largest beer festival. And still to come on DD India News Hour. All set for second phase of assembly polls in J&K. Voting for second phase to be held in 26 seats on the 25th of September. India sends second tranche of humanitarian assistance to drought-hit Namibia. And Riya Singh, crowned Miss Universe India 2024, will represent India at the global pageant.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Pakshi Kurana, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with top US tech CEOs in New York, highlights huge business opportunities in the country. Prime Minister Modi in New York hails Indian diaspora success, says India-America spirit is new AI power of the world, assures made in India chips will become a reality. United Nations General Assembly adopts Pact for the Future, challenges leaders to hold collective responsibility to turn promises into real actions. Anurakumara Dissanayake is sworn in as Sri Lanka's next president as the island nation witnesses power shift. Indian Prime Minister congratulates him for victory. Israel says prepared for next steps of fighting as Hezbollah declares open-ended battle. US President says doing everything possible to keep the wider war from breaking out in West Asia. And in Chess Olympiad, India wins gold in both men's and women's category. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says remarkable achievement marks a new chapter in India's sports trajectory. And moving on, India's commitment to humanitarian support continues. India sends the second tranche of humanitarian assistance for the warm and friendly people of Namibia to enhance their food security. A consignment of 1,000 empty maize given to severe drought-hit Namibia. India's proactive stance in providing timely and effective aid to countries like Namibia reinforces its commitment to leading by example in international cooperation. By addressing immediate needs while also advocating for sustainable development, India is helping to pave the way for a more resilient and interconnected global south, ready to tackle the pressing challenges of climate change and food security. And on to updates on assembly elections in India's Jammu and Kashmir. After an impressive turnout of over 61% in the first phase, the Union Territory is now set for the second phase. 26 assembly constituencies will go to polls in this phase on September 25th. The second phase of the elections covers the constituencies in Riyasi, Rajouri and Poonch districts in the Jammu region and Srinagar and Badgam districts of Kashmir Valley. Leaders of all political parties are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters as campaigning will end on Monday evening for this phase. The Jammu and Kashmir Assembly election is being conducted in 3 phases with voting on September 18th, September 25th and October 1st. The counting of votes will take place on the 8th of October. Assembly elections are being held for the first time in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370. And Tahir Nadeem Khan joins us for more from Doda. Well, Tahir, our last day of campaigning for the second phase today. How is it going?
Well, Pakshi, the way campaigning is going on, we have never ever seen that kind of a campaigning because star campaigner, especially that of BJP, they are camping in Jammu and Kashmir. And day before yesterday, Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed 5 election rallies in Mahendra, Surankot, in district Rajouri, Thana Mandi, and in Akhnur of Jammu district. And today itself, they are also there. And yesterday, Amit Shah addressed another rally in Navshehra, and not only he, but Rajnath Singh addressed 4 rallies in Rajouri and Poonch, and party's president and Union Health Minister JP Nadda also carried out a bike rally and later addressed political rally in Jammu. The atmosphere is very encouraging, very sky high, and the thing we are seeing here from especially the BJP, you have to understand the nuances of the aspiration of the people, of the problems of the people, how to take the right card with them, and the way BJP leaders are addressing the rallies, that shows they have done a lot of homework. The way Amit Shah said that in border areas while addressing Rajouri and Poonch, he said that the borders have fallen silent, and that is because of the BJP's policies and aggressive attitude of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is why border have fell silent, and the bullet will be responded with a mortar shell. That has gone well with the voters of Rajouri, Poonch, and especially that of reservation of Gujjar, Bakarwals and Pahadis. So these are the things. Although Congress President Mr. Khadge is also here, but instead of holding a political rally, he settled just for a press briefing here yesterday. But today itself, Rahul Gandhi is scheduled to visit Nowshera, and later in the afternoon he is fly to Srinagar. This second phase in 26 constituencies, three districts each in Jammu province and 3 in Kashmir, will go to polls, and it holds a lot of importance because Omar Abdullah is contesting from 2 seats. That is in the second phase itself, from Gandarbal and another constituency from Kashmir itself. So it will be very interesting to see, and the way Election Commission of India has made some unique arrangement this time. For the first time in Zadibal constituency, where Dal Lake is located, a large chunk of voters reside in those host boards, and for the first time in the history, a floating polling station has been established for those voters. And similarly in Rajouri and Poonch, first time along LOC, several polling stations have been established. That has given a lot of confidence to the voter, due to which the enthusiasm is very much, the atmosphere is electric, and they are ready to go for the polls tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, on 25th, 25th of September.
Right, Tahir, you spoke about the nuances. What are the main issues for the people in the constituencies, especially for the second phase?
Well, Abhita, the issues are totally different. As I said, the nuances, you have to understand the nuances. The people residing in Rajouri and Poonch, most of them are cattle rearers, are doing horticulture, agriculture activities, and that land, agriculture land, is along LOC, and this is very important for them that that LOC remains silent, so that they can carry out with their activities out there, whether it is agricultural activities or cattle rearing. When borders are silent, they are at peace, they can earn their livelihood. And the second thing, they are very much interested to join the security forces. And Amit Shah, while addressing political rally out there, he said that if BJP comes to power, he promised that special recruitment drives will be held for there. Rajouri Poonch is like that only because they want peace on the borders, only then they can prosper. And that thing has been assured by the BJP. And if we go to Kashmir Valley, 3 districts, they want more tourism, they want development, and they want no stone pelting, no terrorist activities out there. So these are the things which differ Kashmir Valley from that Rajouri Poonch, which are going to poll day after tomorrow.
All right, peace and development is surely a priority there. Thank you so much, Tahir, for all those details from there. And moving on, the 5th edition of Goa Maritime Symposium will begin today at Naval War College in Goa. The theme for the event is Common Maritime Security Challenges in the Indian Ocean region, progressing lines of effort to mitigate dynamic threats such as illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and other illegal maritime activities. The 2-day-long symposium will see participation of naval representatives from 12 Indian Ocean littoral countries. Observers from Kenya and Tanzania will also attend the event. The discussions will dwell on collaborative efforts towards enhancing maritime security in the Indian Ocean region. And the 10th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association India Region Conference will begin in New Delhi on Monday. The theme of the conference is the role of legislative bodies in the attainment of sustainable and inclusive development. The 2-day conference will be chaired by the Speaker of the Lower House of Indian Parliament, Om Birla, who is also the chairperson of the CPA India region. 46 presiding officers of legislators of states, union territories, along with their principal secretaries and accompanying officers will be attending the conference. The conference will be preceded by Executive Committee meeting of the CPA India region. And today is the time to commemorate the world's largest health insurance, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana (PMJ), that was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2018. The scheme ensures that a poor person does not miss out on treatment due to lack of money. In the past 6 years, around 80 million poor individuals have received free treatment after being admitted to hospitals, of whom 49% of the beneficiaries are women. The scheme includes 1,949 health packages, 27 of which are medical specialty packages covering general medicine, surgery, cancer and heart disease. Post-hospitalization, beneficiaries receive care, food and transportation for up to 15 days. Nationwide, 29,648 hospitals are linked to the scheme, including 13,049 private hospitals. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. As part of Seva Pakhwara, the Indian Minorities Foundation organized a mega multi-speciality health camp in Mumbai to celebrate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 74th birthday. Over 3,500 underprivileged patients received free medical treatment. In Manipur, hundreds of people took part in 10-kilometer Red Run Marathon to spread awareness regarding HIV and AIDS. The marathon was organized by Manipur State AIDS Control Society. Indian film star Chiranjeevi Konadela has been honoured by the Guinness World Record, which recognized him as the most prolific film star in Indian cinema in the actor-dancer category. In a glittering ceremony in the Indian state of Rajasthan, Riya Singha has won Miss Universe India 2024 title. After winning the title, Riya will represent India at the Global Miss Universe 2024 pageant. Remember, you're watching DD India Live. Time now for weather updates. Heavy rain that triggered floods and landslides on a Japanese peninsula recovering from an earthquake. Heavy rain pounded Ishikawa from Saturday with more than 540 millimeters recorded in the city of Bajima over 72 hours, the heaviest continuous rain since comparative data became available. Floodwaters inundated emergency housing built for those who had lost their homes in the New Year's Day quake, which killed at least 374 people. Over 100 areas in the region were isolated with roads blocked due to landslides. Floods wreak havoc in parts of Hungary as floodwaters peaked, moving south towards Serbian and Croatian localities. In Budapest, the Danube is forecast to reach 8.5 meters, near record levels, but still below those seen in 2013. The worst floods to hit Central Europe in at least 2 decades have caused widespread damage from Romania to Poland, killing at least 24 people, destroying bridges, submerging cars, and leaving towns caked in mud and debris. In southern Poland, heavy rains causes destruction as floods left buildings with ripped away facades. Stony Slaski was one of the areas worst hit by the massive floods. Residents and volunteers began clearing up in hopes that their homes would be livable before the onset of winter. Part of the mountain town of 5,000 people was swamped when a dam burst last weekend during Central Europe's worst floods in more than 2 decades, which have caused billions of dollars in damage and killed at least 24 people. Severe flooding in Chad since July has claimed 503 lives and affected around 1.7 million people. The floods have destroyed thousands of houses by flooding 357,000 of hectares. The UN had warned in early September of the impact of torrential rains and severe flooding in the wider region, particularly in Chad, calling for immediate action and funding to tackle climate change. Flood Monitoring Committee has set up to assess the risks associated with the pollution of drinking water supplies and rising river levels. While hundreds of protesters marched against the government in Sao Paulo, calling for measures to tackle climate change amidst wildfires across the country. The protest was part of a series of mobilizations calling by Greenpeace Brazil and Jovens Pelo anti-climate change organizations. Forest fires have been raging for several weeks in Brazil, consuming millions of hectares of forest. And still to come in DD India News Hour. U.S. House Republicans unveiled 3-month stopgap bill to avert shutdown, aim to vote on the measures on Wednesday. Manchester City versus Arsenal ends in a chaotic and controversial 2-2 draw. And South Africa beat Afghanistan in third ODI to award a clean sweep in Sharjah.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana and time now for updates from the world of business. Republican U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson has proposed a 3-month stopgap funding bill to avert a government shutdown in a Sunday letter to his members. The stopgap funding bill excludes an immigration-related measure demanded by Donald Trump. Johnson's plan, known as a limited continuing resolution, would fund the government until 20th of December, punting longer-term spending decisions until after the election. In addition to keeping the government funded at current levels, it would replenish funds for FEMA and include $230 million for Secret Service funding. The chamber will aim to vote on the measure on Wednesday. Failure to act by then would furlough thousands of federal workers and shut down government operation weeks before the election. And U.S. President Joe Biden hailed U.S. economic progress in the face of the pandemic and Russia-Ukraine conflict after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates. U.S. President Joe Biden has vowed to keep working to lower cost for American families and hailed the progress in bringing down inflation and boosting employment. Biden, speaking at the Economic Club of Washington, also said there is more work to be done.
As you all know, inflation was 9.1% in the United States. Today, it is much closer to 2%. It doesn't mean our work is done. Far from it. Far from it. No one should confuse why I'm here. I'm not here to take a victory lap. I'm not here to say a job well done. I'm not here to say we don't have a hell of a lot more work to do. We do have more work to do. But what I am here to speak about is how far we come, how we got here, and most importantly, the foundation that I believe built for a more prosperous and equitable future in America. So let's be clear. The Fed lowering interest rates isn't a declaration of victory. It's a declaration of progress. It's a signal we've entered a new phase of our economy and our recovery.
Well, Australia's consumer watchdog has accused the country's 2 largest supermarket chains of misleading shoppers about discounts on hundreds of products in lawsuits filed on Monday. In separate lawsuits, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission said Woolworths and Coles held prices steady on certain products for up to 2 years, then hiked them only to advertise them as being on sale soon after. Woolworths said it will review the claims made by the regulator and continue to engage with the Consumer Commission. In June, the federal government said Australia could impose billion-dollar fines on big supermarket chains that fail to comply with an industry code of conduct. Well, you're watching DD India Live. Time now for sports updates. The Indian chess team has scripted history by bagging 2 gold medals in the open and women's section respectively on Sunday in Budapest. In the open section, Indian men's team outplayed Slovenia with a score of 3.5, 0.5. Gukesh, Arjun and Pragananda secured wins, whereas Vidit drew his game comfortably in the round of 11. Meanwhile, in the women's section, the team crushed Azerbaijan. Harika, Divya and Vantika scored wins, whereas Vaishali settled for a draw. The Indian team will also be awarded the prestigious Gapreen Dashal Cup, which is given to the best performing federation that includes the performance of open and women's section. With this victory, India bettered its performance from the 2022 Olympiad, where it won a bronze medal in the home soil. Previously, India had won a bronze medal in the 2014 edition. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the Indian contingent on their exceptional performance at the Chess Olympiad on X. He said, and I quote, "Historic win for India as our chess contingent wins the 45th FIDE Chess Olympiad. India has won the gold in both open and women's category at Chess Olympiad. Congratulations to our incredible men's and women's chess teams. This remarkable achievement marks a new chapter in India's sports trajectory. May this success inspire generations of chess enthusiasts to excel in the game." An Indian cricket team ended a 92-year-long wait by defeating Bangladesh in the first test of their 2-match series in Chennai. The 80-run victory marked a historic moment as India finally surpassed their tally of losses in Test cricket, achieving 179 wins against 178 losses from 581 matches since their debut in 1932. This triumph puts India alongside Australia, England, South Africa and Pakistan, who also boast a positive win-loss ratio in Test cricket. India played its first Test under C.K. Naidu, suffering a defeat, but now, 92 years later, the team has rewritten history. John Stones scored a dramatic equaliser deep into stoppage time to rescue Manchester City from defeat against Arsenal in a chaotic and controversial 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium. City took the lead through Erling Haaland's 100th goal for the club, but Arsenal turned the game around before half-time. Ricardo Calafiori equalised after City's talisman Rodri was forced off injured, and Gabriel headed Arsenal in front just before the break. Controversy struck when Prasar was sent off for a second yellow, while City's Jeremy Doku avoided punishment for a similar offence. Despite relentless pressure from City in the second half, Arsenal triumphed after a brilliant display from goalkeeper David Raya. The game ended in a draw courtesy of last-minute heroics from John Stones. And Aiden Markram's composed 69 guided South Africa to a 7-wicket win in the third ODI, avoiding a clean sweep against Afghanistan in Sharjah. Chasing 170, the Proteas overcame a brief wobble at 83, with Markram and Tristan Stabbs 26 adding an unbeaten 90-run stand. Afghanistan, having already won the series, struggled with the bat despite Rahmanullah Gurbaz's valiant 89 of 94 balls. 3 key Afghan batters were run out, and AM Ghazenfar's 31 provided a late boost. South Africa capitalised on the absence of Rashid Khan and Fazal Haq Faruqi and eased to victory. And Carlos Alcaraz's straight-set win led Team Europe to victory at the Lever Cup in Berlin. Team's top-ranked player, Alcaraz, defeated American Taylor Fritz, securing 3 points to secure 5th Lever Cup title for Team Europe. Team Europe started the day at a 4-8 deficit before making a comeback courtesy of Alcaraz and Kasper Ruud, who triumphed in the day's opening doubles match over Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe. Though Daniil Medvedev lost a tough battle against Shelton, local hero Alexander Zverev kept Team Europe's hopes alive by squeezing out a win over Tiafoe in another lever breaker. And third seed Beatriz Haddad-Miyai fought back from a set down to beat top seed Daria Kasatkina 1-6, 6-4, 6-1 and claimed her first WTA title of the season at the Korea Open on Sunday. The Brazilian overcame a shaky start after Kasatkina raced through the opening set in 26 minutes, losing just 2 points on a serve. Haddad-Miyai continued to be on the back foot in the second as well, trailing 2-0 before storming back to turn the match on its head. The world number 17 now has 4 career WTA titles and has now won 12 of her last 14 matches. Well, McLaren's Lando Norris dominated the Singapore Grand Prix from start to finish on Sunday to take another chunk out of Max Verstappen's Formula One championship lead. The 24-year-old Briton roared away from pole position at the flood-lit Marina Bay circuit and led every lap to the checkered flag. Verstappen finished second for Red Bull, a massive 20.9 seconds behind, and McLaren's Oscar Piastri finished third. Verstappen's 59-point lead over Norris was cut to 52 points with 6 rounds, including 3 sprints remaining, while McLaren stretched their lead over Red Bull in the constructors' standings. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Purana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.